Good morning, everyone. We're back with more Barnstable This Morning. I'm Sarah Colvin, and joining me live on the phone, I welcome our Chief of Police, Paul MacDonald. Chief, good morning.
Good morning, Sarah.
How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, Chief, I want to start out by talking a little bit about a search warrant that was issued last week. Tell me a little bit about this incident.
Last Thursday, we executed a search warrant at 1662 Hyannis Road in Barnstable, which is just north of Route 6A as you're heading into Barnstable Village. This has been an ongoing investigation. The target of the investigation was Alexander Schuh, S-C-H-U-H. During the course of the investigation, we had him under surveillance. The detective actually saw him leave his house, go out, meet three individuals in his driveway. What appeared to be an obvious drug transaction. The vehicle left. Another set of detectives stopped the vehicle, arrested three individuals for possession of heroin and cocaine. At that time, detectives went back to the house with the search warrant in hand. They executed the search warrant. They locked up Mr. Schuh. We recovered over 70 grams of heroin and cocaine, plus a loaded 9mm handgun, which is a good arrest. In total, there were 7 individuals arrested. Mr. Schuh was arrested for trafficking and heroin. 3 other individuals were arrested with possession with intent to distribute, and the 3 individuals in the vehicle were arrested with possession of heroin. So it was a good pinch.
Absolutely, and I'm thinking about that address, and that's pretty close to Barnstable Village, if not in Barnstable Village, not necessarily the typical place in town we see this kind of activity.
Absolutely. You know, and this individual is known to us. He was arrested a couple of years ago for arson. He's a suspect in numerous other incidents. And with this, because of the possession of the firearm, he's also going to be charged with being an armed career criminal. So he's facing a minimum of 15 years if found guilty.
Absolutely. And is he still behind bars at this point, Chief?
He's been held on $10,000 cash bail.
Great. And then a stabbing on Saturday. Tell me a little bit about where this happened. And what's
Unfortunately,
going on
Saturday morning at about 2:30 in the morning, we were called to 34 Harrimar Road, and an individual came to the door, knocking on the door, banging on the door, woke the occupants up. They went out there. They recognized the individual. They let him in, and he had suffered some serious stab wounds, 2 to the back of his neck and 1 to his abdomen. They immediately called 911, called the police, called the fire. We responded along with the Hyannis Fire Department. And the investigation is ongoing. He is still in surgery. He was unable to give us a description of a possible suspect or really what happened that night because of the severity of his injuries. It looks like the stabbing took place somewhere on Threshold Road. We did follow the blood trail. There was a pool of blood a couple of doors down from 34 Threshold Road. So we do believe we have the crime scene, but as of yet, we've been unable to speak with the victim. The victim has been identified as Marlon Johnson, who was homeless in Hyannis.
Indeed, and unfortunately, that neighborhood a little bit more known for activities like this. I feel like we haven't heard, any violence in some time, but patrols still pretty much happening on the regular in that neighborhood, Chief.
We have cut back a little bit on patrols because they've needed in other areas, but like you said, we really have not had any problems on Fresh Hills, Harrimar, Quaker Road in quite some time. It's been pretty quiet down there. Working with the homeowners association, they've been on top of it. So again, we have to deploy our forces as we see where the problems pop up. We pull them out of Fresh Hills, Harrimar Road, and until we know exactly what happened with this, we really don't know where to move with this. But in the stabbing, there's close contact between the victim and the suspect. So once we're able to talk to Mr. Johnson, he is expected to survive. His injuries are severe, but he will make a full recovery. And once we sit down and interview him, find out what happened, I'm sure we can solve this.
Great. Chief, let's talk about Friday, this Friday on the Village Green, I believe, starting at 4 o'clock, going to be an event designed to kind of bring the community together. I know the police department has some involvement in this, started by some local residents. Tell me a little bit about Unity Day.
Yeah, with all the things that are going around through the country, Black Lives Matter, the police officers being shot, and individuals being shot by the police under different circumstances. It's been a tough time, and representing the minority community, the Barbos, they came to me a couple of weeks ago, and they said they want to do something positive here in Barnstable. They didn't want to have a rally. They just want to have something positive to bring the whole community out and involving the police department, and just so the community can actually meet with the police officers and have like a neighborhood block party. We're not sure how it's going to go, but we are looking forward to it. We're excited about it. It's this Friday from 4 to 7 p.m. And basically, is to engage the community with the police department, and there'll be free food there, music, children activities, raffles, and hopefully everybody everybody will just have a good time. And it's just like a a neighborhood block party more than anything else.
Absolutely, and it seems to me, Chief, really trying to show that the police are here to help, that we're all members of the community, and if we all want that good quality of life, we all do need to work together.
Absolutely, and there are problems out there, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the problems are here in the town of Barnstable or here on Cape Cod, and a lot of times, people look at the media or the social media, and all they're doing is they're just rerunning the same instance over and over again, the tragic instance over and over again, and eventually some of these young individuals, they get influenced by this, and that's how they think life is, and it really is not so.
Absolutely. Chief, have you noticed some concern or perhaps some stress amongst your officers with all of this attention, this concern about, the police and violence and all of that?
We've had many discussions, roll call. We have form of roll calls, 7:45, 3:45, 11:45 every day for the beginning of each shift, and that's discussed with the lieutenants and sergeants and the patrol officers. And we really haven't seen any of that of concern for the police officer here in this particular community. And actually, it's just the opposite. Every day you come in here, there are a different restaurant, there are different individuals. They're bringing in flowers, they're bringing in food to feed the officers. breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's really been an outpouring of support for the police department, which has been kind of impressive.
Wonderful. And again, so the Unity Day taking place this Friday on the Village Green, all are welcome. Any other words about that event coming up, Chief?
From 4 to 7. Hope to see you there, Sarah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Chief. And we will talk. We will see you on Friday, and we'll talk with you again next week. Have a great day.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Bye-bye.